Hello everybody, I'm the Sandy Man and welcome to this quick review of 7 Senses of the Reunion, Episode 7. First thing that happened is we open up the episode and it's your typical beach episode. You know, they're water fighting, they're in swimsuits, and at this point I was like, oh god, what are we in for? But then after the OP, we actually get to it, they're on a boat because there is a sword in the Lost Pentagon, which is definitely not the Bermuda Triangle. Alright? And then we find out Asahi is apparently psychic and can sense where the sword is because she gets it first try. And then it turns out that it's Haruto's old sword from the original Union game, which don't make sense how it, jumped to the remake, whatever thing, reunion. And the sword is inside a snake monster called Aegir. Aegir? Yeah, Aegir. It's like Norse, it sounds. And they're struggling, but then Clive shows up and helps them. So they escape, but then he's gone when they go to look for him. He's gone already. And it's like, okay, Clive, what you doing? But then, back in IRL, Takanori meets with both Thingy. I'm forgetting names. The guys, the crew. The IRL crew. Let's just go with that. Haruto and Satsuki, that's their names. Gee, that was bad. And he's like, yo, the people behind it are Gnosis? Let's go with Gnosis. I think that's how you say it. And they erased players from the game, not killed them, they erased any trace of them. Which I was like, okay. But then, after a bit of debating, Takanori comes to the conclusion that, hey, Asahi might still be alive in the real world, which is don't know how you got to that conclusion. And it turns out that he's been searching for Nozomi as well to reform Subaru. So good job, Takanori. That's a good thing. But then they go for the sword again, and Clive shows up and actually talks to them this time. He's like, hey, yo, guys, let's do it. Then they, after a cool little fight scene, they defeat Aegir, and Haruto grabs the sword. And then Clive stabs him in the back. And I didn't see that coming. I really didn't. I was like, oh, Clive, you dick. And then Asahi obviously freaks out. Her eyes start glowing. So if it turns out she can rewind time so he doesn't get stabbed, I'm not going to be happy with that. Don't do time travel. Ever. Just don't do it. But, yeah, this is the first real, Clive exposure. And, we knew he was scheming something. I still am no closer to understanding what he's scheming. A theory, I have no evidence for this, but I think he might be like Asahi. I think he might, because when they met him in the original one, right, he was the only one they didn't know in the real world. I think he might be just in the virtual world like Asahi is. Just me spitting nonsense, but I've just got a feeling, I've got to let my feelings be known, or something. But yeah, next episode's gonna kick off with a bang because flipping Haruto got stabbed. This episode though was weird. Up until the last part with Clive, it felt kind of like an OVA episode. The way everyone was acting, it just didn't feel. It didn't feel like it continued. It was weird. It was weird, but I'm over it because that end was really good. But yeah, that was this week. Join me next week when, I don't know, hopefully there's no time travel. Please. Bye, guys.